hairy balls.
That's what she said.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
I'm rich, bitch. Get your hand off my penis.
Hairy balls.
Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense.
To tell you directly and personally that I regret voting for you for Secretary of State. I yield back.
May I respond?
You may sit.
Well, first of all, your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job.
That's right, America. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Josh.
And this is the lost art of common sense. And as always, we are brought to you by our merch shop. So buy our shit.
Link in the description below. Matt will be jumping on here at some point. He's busy, hopefully doing shots before he gets on.
And
Loosens
also,
them up and makes them more interesting.
Also, if you're going to stay on, just watch our whole show, and we have another sponsor. So maybe you saw it last week, maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't watch last week. You should have. That's on you. Don't be a dick. But this week, we're going to talk about kind of a big deal. Kind of maybe the major scandal of, well, I think my whole life on presidency and politics. I don't think you see a lot of media outrage other than a Tapper book. But we're going to be talking about the previous administration and the Biden presidency and, you know, how it might have been a sham. So, Josh, first question. What do you think of the Biden presidency since the recent news has broke? One, you know, maybe he wasn't quite competent, and two, you know, he has cancer now.
I don't think anything different than I did before, other than I think that he probably was dealing with cancer his entire presidency.
I agree. I think
other than that, zero mindset change.
Yeah, no, I think everybody knew. I mean, everybody who I think didn't vote for Biden
What's up, Jared?
What up, Jared? I think everybody who didn't vote for Biden in 2020 pretty much could figure out that he wasn't all there. Like his mental competency was kind of, you know, he was on a course of dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever it is. And, you know, and they just kept being like, it's deep fakes. It's, you know, they kept playing it off like, no, he has a stutter. No, it's not a stutter when you don't know words or where you are, or you walk around on stage and not know how to exit. I mean, It was, and the cancer thing, yes, I also believe he had cancer probably the whole time.
Yeah, it just, with the type of cancer that he had, that's not. It's just not the same. Like they're one of the doctors for Fox News said there's a chance that it could metastasize that fast and go to the bone, but everyone else is like, yeah, there's no way.
I've seen every doctor I've heard, maybe other than that one, I guess, was like, no, they would have caught it. But they're like, oh, at that age, they don't even test for it. I'm like, what? Why? Like, he's the president. He's the leader of the free world. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. There was even a CNN doctor said, of course, now everyone's like trying to their ass, but even a CNN doctor was like, oh no, he's had this for years. So yeah, I think I don't know. I think he's probably dealt with it. I don't know. They were saying some of the treatment that you can take a testosterone blocking hormone treatment that's supposed to help with cancer that can make you clumsy and give you cognitive side effects. So
well, I mean, if that was true, when they say, hey, I mean, if he's president, you know, hey, he's battling cancer. All right, United States, you know, the whole U.S. behind him, you know, get well soon, you know. Hopefully you're fighting a good battle. Whatever. You would say that. I mean, why wouldn't you say it?
Because it would pull in a 25th Amendment thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's what they wanted anyways.
Well, they wanted that if he got reelected.
Yes. But I feel like they found out that, hey, you know, this guy is way too out there to get reelected, so they kicked him out. But I mean, wouldn't you want to pull him, like maybe in year 2 if he had cancer or whatever? Put Kamala in there and do the same shit that you were going to do anyways? Then at least have somebody competent do it? I mean, I just don't understand. If this was, I mean, I don't understand it.
I don't know. It was.
I mean, do you think they hit it from their own party? Are you fucking with the?
Yep.
Stop.
Okay.
It's fucking my eyes up.
You're just getting old, Kevin.
What are you doing? Why?
I felt like
it's been there for a year. Why are you screwing with it now?
I look small. No, I don't.
All right. Oh my God.
Next question, please.
All right. If he wasn't running the country, because I don't think he was, with cancer and with his fucking dementia or whatever it is, who was running the country? Who do you think was actually running the country?
I think it was his aides that were around him. I don't even think his cabinet people had that much say in it. Based on what they've been saying about how the cabinet meetings went and how it was all scripted, I think he thought he was president and he thought he was doing a good job, but I think it was his left-wing Gen Z aides that are around him that were doing stuff.
Yeah, I believe you're correct. I don't think. Well, it definitely wasn't him. I think it was both. Like, I think it was his aides who got direction from.
He's got aides too?
That's treatable. What he has, I don't think is. So that sucks.
It's sad that he has it. I mean,
yeah, he's a human being. No matter what, I don't want him to fucking suffer or die or.
I don't think. Well, I don't know. You could argue that he's actually caused deaths.
I've had 2 parents go through cancer, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah, but nobody. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
No, I wouldn't either. I'd rather have somebody. If somebody's gonna go quick. this dying from
unless
cancer,
it's a pedo, then I want it to be worse.
No, I want them to like bleed out from the balls or something
in a painful way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but I mean, just I didn't agree with Biden's policies, but I don't think it was his policies anyways. So I have no ill will to him. I mean, I didn't like him as a senator. I didn't really like him as a politician at all. But
I didn't mind him as vice president just because he said a ton of stupid shit all the time.
And I didn't like him. I didn't mind him during the first, campaign run against Trump because, what was the fat one?
Until he won.
Yeah. Hold on, because this one was. Okay, I gotta find it. Hold on.
And you're killing it tonight.
Look fat.
That's the look fat comment.
Yes.
Look fat. But I mean, he is, he's still a human being. He was the president of the United States. He was my president for 4 years. So, I wish him well. Hopefully somehow he can beat it, but what else?
Yeah, I don't know.
don't
They've come a
feel-
long way with cancer treatment, but with how old he is and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I just think that I don't even think he really comprehends how bad his presidency was.
I don't think
Because there was a lot of
comprehends-
stuff that were passed or like executive orders and stuff that he was like surprised to find out. What do you mean?
I don't think he knew what was going on the last 2 years of his presidency. And I think Jill Biden should be scrutinized for the way she, she was. I mean, you
When you
can't
have your
love
wife
somebody.
being like, "You did so good, Joe. You said all the
Well,
words."
In all honesty, you can't love somebody and let them suffer through cancer and suffer through dementia and let them run the free world.
You know what, Kevin? This is a life lesson. Don't leave your wife for the nanny because they're all the money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Both parts are true.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Yeah.
saying. So,
So-
yeah, that's who I think that, and that's why I think we got super lucky. Now, this isn't necessarily the biggest scandal because technically Roosevelt's wife was running the country.
No,
during
well,
his last
recent.
term.
I said in my lifetime.
Yeah, but what people are saying, this is one of the biggest. Now, you could argue
It's bigger
that
than
because of
Watergate, I think.
well, and you could argue that because of the executive powers that the president has amassed, just the presidency.
No,
has
well, hold
amassed.
on. No, I think it is a bigger scandal because the way the media covered it up.
Well,
And
yeah,
everybody
now
covered
that
it
part
up.
of it, yes. Because, well, how did nobody know that Roosevelt's wife wasn't running the country?
Well, because, I mean, I guess they could fucking limit access.
Of course, back
know,
then,
Back
you
then,
know,
we
everybody,
got like
the,
four
the biggest
papers.
scandal, you're
and
right,
3
is
people could read
everybody
in the whole
with
country?
eyes and ears knew that there was something wrong with them.
Yes.
So
Like-
it's not like back in the day where you just like didn't see people because,
No, you got a
Lack of
paper and
television.
it was a week old. The news was a
Yeah.
week old. So, I mean, this was way bigger because news is instant and people could see it immediately.
weren't waiting on the postal donkey.
So, I mean, you kind of touched on this earlier. Do you really believe they just found the prostate cancer?
No. I mean, no. That's why that investigative committee is going to be first they're going to request that his top personal aides come in and talk to the Congressional Oversight Committee. And then if they refuse, because they're probably going to lawyer up, then they'll subpoena them, and then they are going to work their way to the doctor. Because when you're the president, it's almost like you're a corporation to where, and I don't think they should be able to hold back the president's medical records. The biggest problem that we've had in our presidencies, and this goes for anybody, I think this would go Republican, Democrat, is people in power put their legacy above the country. So they'll hide shit in order not to tarnish that person's legacy.
Yeah, agreed.
Where Biden obviously should have been 25th amended and gotten kicked out. But like, oh, we can't do that.
Yeah, because
it's
Kamala
gonna
was a
affect his
horrible
legacy.
choice. I mean, let's be real. Kamala was the backup.
Yeah, I mean, that would have made it worse. So, but yeah, like I said, I mean, presidents put legacy above the country because it's all
Yeah.
about them.
Well, I mean, it's about power. I mean, it's always about power. It's
Yeah, if you
always
want to be
been
a
about
president,
power.
you're probably quite the narcissist.
Do you think, right, this isn't on my thing, but do you think the Democrat Party knew what was going on, all this, and did it so they could control what happens at the executive, power?
I think top people like Nancy Pelosi and stuff like that did. I mean, that one girl who's been going around, haven't seen her. I wonder if she's still alive. But she was like one of the top donors for Kamala and all that stuff. She knew there was something wrong, but like she was lied to too, and she just like I think a lot of people just accepted the lie because they didn't want to believe the truth.
Which is a fucking sadder thing is everybody knew, like a lot of people knew, like I'm pretty sure you knew, I knew that he wasn't right from.
I knew in
even
2020 when he ran for
2019
president
when he
from
was running
his basement that he was not
yeah.
all there.
Yes, I mean he was a lot better than he was 2 years later, but I mean.
Now, granted, I think the 2020 election was fraudulent as hell, but there were a shit ton of people that went out and voted for him, and that just shows you how stupid and ideological people are.
Yes, and if Trump showed fucking like he was, not there, I don't know if I would. I mean, I don't know if I would have voted. I still probably would have voted Republican.
Because he took a drink of water with both hands, and you still voted for him.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if I would vote for like the primary guy against Trump, if I felt like he wasn't there, I wouldn't vote Democrat. I just wouldn't.
Well, that's a problem too. Democrats haven't had a fair primary selection since Hillary.
No, because I think Bernie was going to win in 2020, but they pretty much put the screws to him, made Biden.
Or 2015, 2016.
No, I don't think even Hillary. I think Hillary.
I think they've been picking the Democrat
since Obama, probably.
So yeah, since Obama, they've been the Democrats because they have their super delegates. So they've been picking, like the Democrat brass has been picking their candidates.
Yeah, since 2012, because I don't think Hillary was actually going to be the front runner until they picked her to be.
Well, she lost to Obama in the primary.
No, I meant in 2016. I don't think she was.
But like I think now, well, I don't know. I don't think Obama was.
I can't remember who ran against her in 2016 though. Obama was 2012. I mean, he finished as president. Yeah, it was Bernie. Bernie both times got screwed, I think.
Yeah, I can't believe that dude's still a Democrat.
Yeah. Well, technically, I think he's an independent, isn't he? Or is he a Democrat?
He's a communist Democrat.
Well, I mean, he's a communist.
Oligarch.
No, he's against the oligarchy, remember? Even though he flies on private jets and shit. Because I can't be waiting in line with the common folk.
On commercial, but everyone
I can't be going commercial. I've got a rally in like 4 hours. I can't be doing commercial and like wait in line with the common folk.
Well, that's what
but fuck the oligarchy.
That Johnny guy from
Johnny Five,
the Jesse Waters show.
Oh,
he ran into Bernie. He's like, anybody running a major campaign? I'm like, oh, so you running for president? He's like, I always play commercial. And you could tell 10 years ago, give or take, he was always talking about millionaires. Well, now that he's a millionaire, he's bumped it up to billionaires.
Oh, I know. That's awesome. Like, it's so politician-y to, blame the guy ahead of you until you're that guy. Then, blame the guy ahead of you again.
Are you calling me a lesbian?
What did he say?
So Subarus. A bunch of libs that drive Subarus.
Oh. Dude. Oh, Subaru, kangaroos and stuff. Australia. That's where Subarus come from, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're also driven by a bunch of lesbians.
Let's just agree that was horrible.
Representative Tim Burchett has said that people in Biden's administration were paid off to auto-pin pardons. If this is true, what should be the consequences if they find out who actually did it?
I do every morning.
Dude, I'm white. I got all kinds of it.
Well, no, if that's true, then they should be investigated, prosecuted, and thrown in prison.
But, I mean, can they prove anybody? I mean, it's hard to prove, right?
Not if money.
Is there a code to put in for the auto pin? I don't know. I don't know how auto pins work.
No, you can track it down through financial transactions. It's not like these people are dumb enough to be like, hey, yeah, I'll do that for money. And then once they get the screws turned to them, they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, will there be consequences? I mean, yes, there should be consequences. Will there be? What do you think? Because, Washington fucking sucks at fucking putting anybody anybody in jail unless they're, Republican. So, do you think there's going to be consequences?
I think if they can prove it and get names, yeah. What do you think I'm drinking?
Semen. Oh, sorry.
You're gross.
Horse semen. Not saying you're gay, just gay for horses.
Okay, so
Yeah, I think there should be consequences. I just don't have any faith in the Republican Party. I just don't.
it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people in Washington, period, doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, that actually have consequences for their actions.
I mean, I don't even know if the people that push fucking ICE agents and barged into a fucking facility are going to get reprimanded.
They're being charged.
They're being charged, but I mean, already the mayor got his charges dropped.
Are they dropped?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the DOJ dropped their charges against the mayor of Newark.
That's because Pam Bondi's a joke.
Pam Bondi is a joke.
Every time
I thought she was going to be good. I thought she just sucked at fucking 2A,
Well,
and
she
that was
goes
it.
on TV all the time. We're going to prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. And it's not even necessarily her. It's what's-her-face from South Dakota.
Kristi Noem?
Kristi Noem, that's like pushing stuff, wanting investigations.
I know. Kristi Noem's actually doing well. Well, she shot her own dog, so. I mean, anybody can do that.
She's ruthless.
Yeah.
And was
Exactly.
dumb enough to put it in a book.
Yeah, that might not be the smartest, but she don't give no fucks. So.
Yeah, but she's been the one driving it through DHS.
Yes, I agree.
So I don't know. I don't like Pam Bondi. I never really liked her, and I think she's a horrible DA.
Well,
This is me, though.
so
Attorney General.
I hope that
AG.
people get charged. No one's got charged for COVID or anything else. So all the other fucking lies. So I don't know. I have no faith in Washington. So
Yeah, I don't either. Everybody gets away with everything.
yes,
Or they'll wait till it's out of
the news cycle.
limited
and-
statute
Yeah, statute of limitations.
statute of limitations, and then they'll make a big deal out of it. Well, we can't do anything now. So, I don't know.
Yeah. So CNN's own Jake Tapper, he has a book out. If you haven't heard, because this is a surprise to him about the Biden presidency and the cover up of his cognitive decline. I can't believe. Shouldn't the media take most of the blame for the cover up? And
Yeah.
will they ever admit it?
Here's the thing that ticks me off, and I don't know why anybody would buy that asshole's book, but like, how do you come out and basically say he's basically coming out and saying he's an idiot? Same thing with Morning Joe. Oh well, they just told me everything was fine, and I talked to him and everything. Like, no, he's coming out.
No,
doing
he's
this big-
stronger than ever, is what I've heard a lot. He was smarter than ever. He was on his game.
Well, yeah, and he's doing this big media blitz, and he's like basically just coming out and telling everybody he's a dumbass, like, and he's horrible at his job.
Like, the funny part is like, you were on TV.
And yes, the media should take, I don't know, all the blame, because that's literally why the reason why we have a freedom of press is so the press can keep the government honest. So once the press starts working on behalf of the government, they're no longer press.
No,
and they
it's
should
propaganda. It's
technically-
not, it's
That's why they
propaganda
shouldn't
winning.
have the constitutional protections that they have. If you're a propagandist, you're not a news organization.
Yes, I agree.
Like-
I mean,
When they report on stories or they cover stuff up and it causes liquidable damages in one shape or another, people should be able to sue them.
I can't believe that somebody's going to buy this book and be like, I had no idea. What? This was happening under my nose and no one told me? Like I just, somebody bought that book. Somebody bought that book and be like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. In America?
Yeah.
The news wasn't honest? What?
Like, that's fucking crazy. Well, and the fact that like Jay Tapper actually like ostracized is it Laura Trump?
Yeah, Lara, Lara.
Eric's
Lara?
wife.
Lara? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce
But like
her name.
saying like, oh, you were way out of bounds and, you know, you owe him an apology. And then it turns out she was completely right because her and a majority of the country have a brain.
He said he called her and said, "Oh, I'm sorry. You're right." He said he called like on Megyn Kelly's show. He's
I
like,
just wouldn't
I
accept
talked
it.
to
And
her.
Megyn Kelly lit him up over it.
Yeah,
And he deserved it.
absolutely, he deserves it.
I don't know what this means.
I don't know what buttered sausage means.
Apparently, it has to do with the plans you have later on tonight.
Ugh. Butter again? No.
I told you I'm lactose intolerant.
What do you? Yeah. So, do you think they'll ever? I mean, other than a book that they wrote, like, hey, I can't believe this happened. Do you think anybody in the media will admit, hey, no, we lied?
Well, no, because they don't come out and say they lied. Like Jake Tapper lied. They're all coming out and basically saying they misread the tea leaves. So no, they're not going to come out and apologize or, take back. They'll take back what they said in one way or another, but they're never going to take blame for anything.
Okay, well, what do you like if don't just stop putting this stuff up.
Why?
Because he's just the butter sausage, yeah, Gary Busey.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah, sorry.
That was AI? I could totally
wasn't.
see that
No.
being real.
That was definitely not AI.
I think that was real.
No, that was real. That was actually on a podcast.
Now I remember.
Yeah.
See, Dan,
yeah,
you think
the butter sausage
we're
thing.
getting way too much credit. We are not that quick.
No, yeah, that's true. So let's say Biden was slightly more on his game. The Adderall worked. He did well against Trump. He won the election again. They somehow, had 10,000 more voters or 10 million more voters.
The mystical number that didn't show up.
Who didn't show up showed up. What do you think the Democrats' plan was if he won?
He would have been
because
diagnosed
obviously-
with terminal cancer, and they would have removed him, and Kamala would have been president.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that has to be it, right? I mean, that had to be the plan the whole way, right?
I think it was.
The whole way. There was no way they didn't know. I don't think they could have seen him, talked to him, and not known.
No, they all knew. And I can't believe the only person that thought Biden could beat Trump was Biden, because I think he literally believes that he got like 81 or 82 million votes. Like, he literally thought, like, I beat him once, I can beat him again.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he knew how he got those votes. If they cheat, if something happened during the 2020 election, that wasn't quite legal. I don't know what it could have been, but if something happened, do you think he knew? I don't think he did. I think he actually thought that 82 million Americans voted for him.
Oh, yeah. He believed it.
Yeah, I don't think they let him in on what happened. Even if there was something nefarious happening, I don't think they would have let him know.
Well, and here, I want to play this clip real quick. I don't know if I'll play the whole thing, but this is kind of interesting with the shit that they did and how they spent, like, taxpayer monies and stuff.
Okay.
And Alex, the fact of the fake town hall is not actually the worst part of the story that you report in the book.
Yes, other campaigns have used fake town halls. Now, I would say those town halls usually are in addition to real town halls. Joe Biden was doing neither. This fake town hall was in order to film it so they could make it into campaign commercials. They filmed it in Delaware with supporters. But Joe Biden, at this point, this is the spring of 2024, Joe Biden's town hall, which was closed to press, was so bad that campaign officials determined that it was not usable for a campaign commercial. So they took 90 minutes, 2 hours out of the president's day, They filmed an entire town hall,
And
and
now
they
they just
determined that
figured out
it was
about
not
it, you know? No
usable.
one knew
Now, some
before,
people say
or-
this was because Joe Biden was
I'm not sure who
incoherent.
this guy
He
is.
could not really
He's
articulate
from,
his
like,
thoughts in a
Axios or
pithy
whatever.
or even semi-normal
Axios.
way. Some people just said like the lighting was bad. That was sort of
one of the guys
the
coming
two
after the-
points of view. But the point is, it shows how
How can you still vote?
like what the campaign status was in the spring
I'm
of
just saying,
2024 when they were
they lied
trying
to
to deal with a
100%.
candidate that wasn't a clown.
Why would you?
Wait,
not
someone
vote
told you the
for
lighting
Biden?
was bad?
That's one of the excuses.
You're saying that they spent millions of dollars to stage a town hall? Well, we didn't get the lighting right.
That was one of the excuses.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
and this comes back to the question of how many people were aware of things like that, but said nothing. And
All the media, all
Yeah.
the media, everybody on that panel knew.
Yeah, it was.
They're acting surprised, like, oh my god. How
Well,
could
we
this be?
we have to see what the View had to say about it.
Did they say something?
Trust issue with
There
the
has
voter.
always been a mass trust issue because politicians, media, nobody does what they're supposed to do. Now,
That's
why you
I
get your
say,
hard news from the
for me, listen, he's 83, so he's a little stumbly, he's a little rumbly. I can't point to anything that he's done as that he did.
No,
as
that he was
pres-
running for his next
but-
4 years.
But I'm saying,
People in America.
I want not you, but I want somebody
They were
to tell me,
told to
well,
lay
when
off
did
on
you
Trump,
know
too. Like,
it
well,
was
what are we gonna
bad?
talk about?
If you knew, why did you wait?
Yeah,
So
can I just answer that,
can I
though?
get in
He
for a
said that
second?
it was after he moderated the debate.
Can I
Yes,
get in?
but that's not, I'm sorry, baby. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
yes,
if
baby.
you're telling me that hundreds of people knew that he was
Millions.
not able to do his
Millions.
job, then where the
73
hell
million
was he?
people
Where
knew
did
this.
his job?
In 2020.
Yeah, millions of people knew that. You know the
73
funny
of them.
thing is, did you know that Whoopi and Joy Behar, the only reason they're on that show is because they're, I guess, comedians, and they're supposed to be there for
Are they?
comedic relief.
Well, I knew Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know who the fuck Joe Behar is.
Well, apparently she was a comedian, and that's why she's on the show, because she was supposed to be funny. And they're
She's
the
never
two
been funny on
dumbest-
the show.
You know, and I
Not
like Whoopi
once.
from Star Trek.
Not once, Dewey Cox.
Yeah, not once. I used to like Whoopi when she was from like Star Trek, and then I lost all respect for her. She's no real Guinan. It was all acting.
Oh, look, we have another person on here.
Oh, Matt decided to
Good,
join
he can
us.
get to the last question here. That's going to be his fucking question.
Oh,
Oh,
question
hello.
for you, Matt.
Question for me.
Yeah. Well, no, there's two questions. So this whole have you caught up? Do you know anything about the Biden cover up on, his cognitive ability, like his cognitive, whatever state and the cancer?
I know about the cancer. I
You didn't
assumed
know he
about
Well, and all
was
the books
based-
coming out
you,
about.
you didn't know he was,
You know about all the books coming out from like Jake Tapper and stuff saying that he actually was like cognitively challenged and shouldn't have been president. You've heard about that, right?
I'm pretty sure I don't, but anybody that saw him knew that.
Oh, you didn't need the book to know that.
Oh,
No.
well,
I mean-
like the rest of America.
So this isn't.
Congratulations. You have eyes and ears.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all the people who covered this shit up, will there be any repercussions for this? Again, I have no faith in Washington. I have no faith in the Republican Party. I have no faith in basically government, period. But do you think there will be repercussions for covering up Biden's mental decline and the fact that he probably had cancer throughout his presidency?
No. I don't think anything is going to be done. They'll talk about it. They'll poke fun. They'll keep talking about it forever. But something actually getting done about it, I highly doubt it.
Are you asking like are there going to be repercussions against Biden or repercussions for the Democrat Party in general?
No, repercussions against the people who hit it in his administration. Like
No.
Yeah, I
there
don't know
should
about
be, there should actually be people going to jail for this. This is especially if he wasn't running the country. That's I don't know, that I would call it an insurrection of sorts because you're basically taking the power of the presidency and using it as your own will. And
Yeah, there should
you
be,
weren't
but
elected.
There won't be.
But there should be. It should be treason.
Now, they are looking into the legality of using an auto pin for pardons. So a lot of those pardons he gave might have been null and void.
Should be.
Supposedly, the auto pin is used for like autographing stuff, like making like declarations on National Pizza Day and shit like that. But anything that has like legal
Important.
statutes attached to it, like signing laws and executive orders, that has to be actually signed.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like stamping a document when somebody's not there.
Now, I do think there's going to be long-lasting repercussions for both the media and the Democrat Party in general.
I don't know. People have short memories and they're dumb.
Well, no, one of the reasons it's not just this. It's not just this huge cover-up and the horrible state that the Biden administration left the country in. It's also the fact that the Democrats have been, I think we can all agree at this point, completely taken over by their fringe.
Yes.
To where, I mean, it's like everyone's like, AOC's the darling of the left. Please put her on the ticket.
I just, like, I don't understand how, I mean, Republicans are always for, they were not, but I mean, I don't know. The Republican Party has taken over what the Democrats used to have on the middle. They've taken middle left and middle right, I think.
I remember when I was a kid, like, everyone's like, one of the guys we went to high school with who has sadly passed.
If it wasn't for the abortion
assume that I
issue-
was rich because my dad was a Republican. It's like,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I mean, if it wasn't for the
Somebody
abortion
thought I
issue,
was
I don't
rich.
think Republicans would lose a election.
No, and that just gives you a good idea of how messed up our culture is right now. But
Yep.
All right, what is this? This is the Washington Examiner. Revelations about former President Joe Biden's mental and physical decline in
Oh,
office.
it's all over the place.
let him read, Kevin.
Sorry, but I mean, I'm just saying. It
of
is.
a
It is-
credibility crisis in the Democratic Party that may take years to overcome. Democratic
5.
credibility tanks to catastrophic level with Biden health cover.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, it's
I
surprising.
still think we're going to lose the
More without
House
paying money.
in the midterms.
I don't think we're going to.
I think we're going to.
I don't.
Why would we?
Because people are going to be like, oh, I didn't know. I was lied to just like you. But abortion. That's
Well,
exactly what they're
whatever.
going to run on.
They
I was
won't-
lied to just as you were.
Here's the thing, Kevin, and it's the problem with midterms. If people go out and vote, we won't lose the House.
No, but people don't go out and vote.
Well,
Because it's only,
your part.
only
Go door to
every
door.
4 years. Yeah.
excuse me, are you going to go vote?
Iowa does it, so I don't give a shit.
Do you have a moment to talk about your Lord and Savior, Donald Trump?
So, no. No. Yeah, no. That's even beyond
Nope.
anything.
Nope.
So have you guys
Rewind.
have you guys read
Much-
anything on
much-
the left? Have you guys seen
thinking.
anything on the left? How are they talking about this whole cover up? Are they upset about it, or are they just trying to point the finger, like, oh, I didn't know.
Are you talking
No.
about people in power?
No, like just like publications, people, or just like on X or Facebook. Like, are they acting surprised? Are they, like, oh my God? I mean, if you guys have seen anything on the left or like,
I honestly haven't seen that much about it. It's everything just stems from
or are they just,
Rubio's
yeah,
talk
are they just like, oh, we
else.
knew, we just didn't
Based
care
on
because-
how they
I
normally
just don't think they're talking about it.
act, they're either not going to comment on it at all, like the heads of the Democrat Party, or they're just in denial and be like, oh, that's so tragic that he just found out he has stage 4 aggressive bone cancer that started out as prostate cancer that normally takes 5 to 10 years to get, but he just got it, and that's sad. But everything else before that was totally legit. You got to think, these are people that live in an alternate reality.
Yeah,
Very true.
that's
So,
true.
Yeah.
So that's all I had. We're going to go to winners and losers. And Josh, you want to put your winner up
Oh,
or
we're already
loser up
there?
first because I've
Yeah.
got to use the little boys' room.
All
Or this
right.
bathroom.
Which
In my book, you're a winner too.
I think you're a loser.
Well, let's make sure we got Kevin going off to make a toity.
Tweety.
Well, Matt, do you have a winner?
Do I have a winner?
No, wait. Who's your loser? We started off with losers.
My loser is people that talk during movies. Like, not just whisper. You can whisper to your neighbor, and that's totally fine. I don't care. That's cool every now and then. Not the whole freaking movie. And normal conversation voice when people tell you to shut up or that, hey, you should probably stop talking because there's a fucking movie going on and they keep fucking talking.
Did you get up and get angry?
I told them to shut the fuck up.
What you should have done, it would have cost you some money, is go down to the concession stand, buy a hot dog, take the hot dog out of the bun, and just throw it at their face.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. People were cheering me and high-fived me afterwards.
Oh, good.
For telling
Yeah,
me to shut the fuck up.
I had some dude that
He
wasn't
did.
talking, but was on his phone with the screen turned all the way to bright.
Oh, I hate that too. Yeah. If it's during the previews, okay, whatever, just fucking put it away. But during the movie, and especially all the way bright, no, get the fuck out of here.
Well, that's why if I can, I don't know how your theater's set up, but if it's in the big theater, there are 2 chairs that are in next to a handicap helping area that nobody ever sits in. So I will take the 2 normal chairs next to the handicap assist chair, and then I have a huge gap.
Well,
That's the one
I
thing I
had
missed
one.
about the
These
COVID
people were
bullshit.
directly behind me. These people were directly behind me.
Oh yeah,
And
that
it was
sucks.
stadium seating, so it was fine. But yeah, they were right behind me. And the girl that was with them, she's trying to be quiet and would only talk when he talked, which is the whole fucking movie. But she was telling him to stop talking or be quiet. They're like, hey, you need to whisper. And he's like, I don't give a fuck.
Did he give a fuck after you told him to shut the fuck up?
For a minute.
Can you please shut the fuck up?
Yeah,
And I was like,
to,
it got really quiet, and then he kept talking. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Shut the fuck up.
yeah, the last cruise ship I went on, they had a movie theater that had stadium seating, but it was literally like the feet were right next to it, and this guy pre-apologized for his kid kicking the shit out of my seat, and it took everything I had in me
To not punch
to walk
the kid?
around and physically accost the dad for being
Oh.
such. I'm not going to beat the kid up. You got to beat the kid's dad up.
That makes sense.
Hi, gotta learn
It's like, you
something.
see this? This is happening because of you. Now, I had the drink package, so when all said and done, we were out there, I waited for him to come out, and he tried to apologize again. I was just like, yeah.
I don't accept it. I'm on it.
It's like, you know what?
You buy me a drink.
Maybe
I know
fuck
I got
yourself.
free drinks, but you buy me one.
Yeah, I was not happy about that. I mean, that kid was kicking the shit. And it was literally like, you sat down and you're like, if you're sitting down with your feet at a 9, they weren't reclining chairs. So they're like old school theater chairs, but
old
set up
school.
stadium. So you're sitting at a 90 degree with your knees at a 90 and your toes would be touching the seat in front of you.
Oh.
And that kid was kicking the shit out of my seat. So
I would pirate the hell out of that movie rather than sit in those seats.
my loser
I mean, I would never do that.
is kind of conflicted because it's a loser and a winner. And that is all my fellow 2A enthusiasts out there. Which I'm going to go ahead and say my winner too because it goes.
They're
hand
both
in
the
hand.
same.
Well, no.
Kind of.
Because, okay, so my winner is this
Excuse me
dude.
again, real quick. I'll be right back. It'll be
He
2
is the
seconds.
president of Rare Breed Triggers, Lawrence DeMonico. And he's my winner because he has been in a fight with the ATF over, he's one of the founders and creators of one of the first force reset triggers that you can get.
Okay.
And he's been going through a bunch of shit, and he finally settled, so he can sell his. But the settlement's kind of weird because it kind of sets up like a a monopoly for rare breed because they're the only ones that can sell it, and they can't do any more development on it, which by them settling basically states that the trigger doesn't fall under the NFA. Because the whole thing with the force reset trigger, it shoots really fast, pretty much as fast as full auto, but it forces your trigger to actually move. So the gun is making your finger move, but your finger is physically pulling the trigger every single time. It's just the trigger's making your finger go forward so it can pull it back again. So under the definition of a machine gun in the National Firearms Act, it's not a machine gun. But it wasn't a solid win. It was like, okay, we're going to give you this, and you can sell them, but nobody else can sell them, and you can't do any improvements on it. And I'm assuming that other companies are going to sue because of that. But then we're also, but that's why that guy's my winner, because he deserves it. I mean, he probably lost years of his life because of this lawsuit and having to potentially go to prison and all that shit. But in the big beautiful bill, they attached the Hearing Protection Act, which might be removing suppressors from the NFA list.
Let's see if it goes through Senate that way, but
and possibly short barrel rifles.
Yeah.
Both of which should not. Well,
my captain.
I mean, they're both bullshit for being on the NFA anyway. The only reason they're on the NFA is because movies make them seem scary, even though there's only very certain calibers and certain suppressors that will make a gun movie quiet. But like over in Europe, you have to use a suppressor.
Yeah.
If you're shooting at because they care about hearing. But over here, because they're scary. But I don't know about short barrel.
Because of movies.
That's short barrel rifles.
Because of movies.
Yeah, that's why short barrel rifles
suppressors aren't like, they're not. I don't. Correct me if
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
make 'em
I don't
like-
know a whole lot about them, but I don't think they're like they're not constant. You can't have a suppressor all the time, right? They wear out.
No, you can. As long
Can
as
you?
it's properly made for the gun you're using. You will eventually wear them out.
But they're not nearly as quiet as what movies make them to be.
Yeah, I mean, no, you can get a 22.
Well, 22 is quiet anyways.
You
A
can even
quiet's
get
not
some.
really. A 22 is not.
They're a
loud
suppressor,
anyways.
not a silencer.
Silencer is what the guy used on the original patent. That's why they're called silencers. You can get a 9mm quiet enough to where all you hear is the action, but the action is still like it.
People will still be able to
those
hear
little
it.
pew pew pew.
Yeah.
That's a 22. If you had that like
but
on a
movies are
9mm
acting
handgun,
like
your suppressor
it doesn't
would be
matter
like
if
that
it's
long.
it's a 9mm or a 44
Yeah.
or 40. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's I mean,
Yeah.
which
Well,
is
it's like
unrealistic because just the action of the gun would be louder than that.
well, it's like there was a movie where they had a suppressor
The
on a
click
12
was
gauge.
louder than the fucking suppressor.
Have you seen the movies where they have suppressors on 12 gauges and shit, and they're just as quiet? And
Yeah.
Like, no, a suppressor on a 12 gauge brings it down from like I don't know 175 decibels to 168.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's unrealistic.
I mean, the technology has improved to where you can get like a 5.56 is a little hard. You can get a 300 blackout though. You can get that like no hearing protection quiet.
Really?
Yes. Like
I don't know enough about suppressors.
the perfect. That's why my perfect home defense gun would be a short barrel because it just would be a short barrel 300 blackout with a suppressor. Well, a 300 blackout pistol with a suppressor because 300 blackout works better with shorter barrels. You still have good ballistic coefficient, and you can get it super quiet. If some asshole breaks into your house and you got to fire off a round, you're not going to blow out the eardrums everywhere in your house. That's why I don't have my 5.56 next to my bed as my primary home defense weapon because
I wouldn't think anybody would.
I wake up the
I
neighborhood.
don't want to fire that off. I got one of those mace ball guns, but then I got in trouble, so then I had to just put
Yeah,
rubber in it.
I don't think anybody would.
I just shoot rubbers. I mean, I'm sure there are people that have
Huh?
an AR-15 next to their bed. I'm just saying,
Shooting rubbers.
if you have any other
I
gun
shoot into
that has
rubbers.
stopping power, I would not pick a 5.56
My rubbers
as my
have holes in-
primary home defense gun.
All right.
Unless you want to blow out your eardrums and bleed through your ears. Kevin, who's your loser?
the whole Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark racial talk of the past week. It's the WNBA. Do I watch it once in a while? But I mean, do I care about it? No. It's just ridiculous that a regular foul went as like this huge.
Did you just say you watch the WNBA?
I do once in a while.
I do.
Why are you gay?
I think
I will watch the Fever.
There's
I
a
will
lot
watch
of
the
people
Fever. I will watch
like Caitlin Clark or the Indiana Fever. I don't give a shit about the rest of the teams. I'm from Iowa. Caitlin Clark was an Iowa girl.
Yeah.
She took us to 2 national championships. So, yeah, I'm going to watch her. But, I mean, there's a whole racial aspect of this whole Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark thing for maybe a moderate foul.
Explain it to me in the audience.
Okay, so what happened was it was, I think, third quarter or fourth quarter. I don't know what quarter it was. So Angel Reese, somebody shot a shot. Angel Reese pushed this girl in the back. She got the rebound. Instead of letting her just get an easy 2 points, Caitlin Clark fouled her. And then Angel Reese kind of flopped, fell down, then got back up, went Caitlin Clark's face. She went ape shit. And somehow this turned into a whole racial, you don't understand the plight of a black woman type of thing. RG3 from Robert Griffin III, who used to play for quarterback for the Redskins, and Ryan Clark, who used to be a Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback or something. They got in this whole racial thing about,
Well, RG3 didn't even make it about race. RG3
he just said hey, this is kind of bullshit. Angel Reese is kind of that Angel hates her. And somehow Ryan Clark put that hey, you don't understand the plight of a black woman because you're married to a white woman. I mean, that was basically his argument, that you can't talk about it in your house because you have a white wife, even though he mixed children and he has a sister and a mother. So I mean, I just got this whole fucking.
I think the
race
fastest
thing.
way to knock the floor out of any argument is to turn it toward race.
Yes, and it's ridiculous because it's the WNBA. I mean, it's.
Well, and there's another thing is that Angel was saying that a bunch of the fans and stuff were
no, she didn't even say it.
To her.
She didn't say it.
No, she did.
She didn't, because somebody asked her about it, because the league said that there's racial comments. She's like, then some reporter asked her, somebody in the fucking stands said some racial shit, but then she was like, oh, she didn't say what anybody said. There was no video of it. There was no TV cameras on it. No one could hear it, but somehow there was some racial stuff said.
They asked Caitlin about it.
The WNBA is what the world would be like if 2020 kept progressing. That if a race dominated all of our culture, the WNBA is what it would be right now.
Well, here's the thing. Ever since Caitlin came into the league, it's been about race. It's not just with those two. It's just those two are polarizing for whatever reason Angel is. I don't understand that shit because she's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they keep wanting to make the rivalry.
The WNBA, she's not good enough.
She's tall and she's a model. Somehow she's
not good enough to be
friends with. If she were 3 inches shorter, she would be. I saw a meme the other day. It's if she was 3 inches shorter, she'd be serving at McDonald's or something.
But here's the thing: Caitlin Clark can do stuff that most male athletes
hit 3-pointers.
Hit three. Well, from 40 feet or 30 some feet. Most at a consistent rate. Most male basketball players couldn't do that. Angel Reese can't make a layup most of the time. I'm just saying the truth. I'm just hey.
Here's Angel's stat line last night. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
I feel like they should rename the WNBA to.
My name is Jeff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed. I believe if Caitlin Clark left and made a basketball league of her own, it would be more popular.
Yeah, WNBA would go out of business in 2 years. I think Dave Portnoy said that too.
That's where I got it from.
Yeah.
So you still indignant?
I did, but I couldn't remember who said it. So
that was Dave.
I was just going yeah, it's true though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, if she didn't come along, the WNBA would be like what it's always been.
Yeah,
nothing.
10
Tax
viewers.
write-off for the actual NBA.
That's basically what it is.
But that's what
Yeah,
like basketball
that
is
loses
anyway.
money.
Somebody gets
That loses
touched, they
money.
act like they get thrown across the floor, and like they're just not letting people play the game. So now they got to add race and all this other shit to it.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense because the most popular player they're constantly against. It's just
Well,
And
ridiculous.
I don't get why the other players, why they're such dicks.
Well,
Even this
because
year,
she's
too.
new and she's good at basketball and she's taking up all the spotlight.
Yeah, but
It has
when
nothing to
you,
do with
like,
race or anything like that. It's just jealousy.
Oh, I agree with that. But they're
No.
filling up the stadiums, and teams are having to move their games from their stadium to pro men's stadiums
and selling those out
to
because she's
accommodate.
there.
Yeah. Like
Well,
Atlanta,
she's the
they
highest paid
play in this
WNBA
little
player.
shit.
No, she's not.
No, she's not.
She's on
I
a
said I
endorsements
hope.
are.
No, she's not. But
she's
I mean,
not.
she's on like a rig contract or whatever. But I mean, she's high. I think she's one of the highest paid because of endorsements.
Endorsements, yeah.
I mean, if she's good.
It's her and then probably Angel. But here's Angel's stat line last night. I mean, Caitlin had a bad night last night too, but here's Angel Reese's. 27 minutes, 0 for 8 from the floor. She made 2 free throws, so she had 2 points, and she had 12 rebounds. I'm betting 9 or 10 of those were
8 of them.
her own misses.
8.
8 of them were her own misses.
Yeah.
I saw a clip. It was about 10 to 12 seconds where she
got
made
4 in
probably
one
4 or
like,
5.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before
This is
her
what
team,
happens when
her
you.
whole team on the sideline, you can see them in the background.
Well, I
They're
don't get
shouting at her to
what
pass
the
the ball.
people do though when they start this shit. Then they put themselves under the microscope, and then they're just gonna like people are gonna hyper focus on how crappy you are. Now, how crappy did Clark do?
She did do
What's her-
bad. I think she only got like 10 points last night.
Loser.
Yeah,
But they won.
They
They
won.
didn't lose by 25 like the
Yeah.
other team did.
She ended up having an okay, but she struggled, and she had like 5 fouls. So she had 11 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. She was
I'm not
0
gonna
for
lie, I
5 from
hate
3-pointers.
I like college basketball.
I don't like playing it. I don't like watching it.
And I don't mind the playoffs in the NBA.
The game the other night, I didn't see it at all.
The Indiana Knicks game was awesome.
Oh my good lord! I didn't watch that live, but
I didn't.
woke
I
up
fell
and,
asleep.
my phone was blowing
I thought
up.
the Knicks were going to win, so I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't really watch. I was like, screw it. I fell
It's one of the
asleep.
biggest comebacks. Oh my good god, Tyrese
so-
Halliburton!
all
I
right.
keep forgetting he's an Iowa State guy.
There's no sports show because Josh doesn't watch sports, and Josh is, he's
We're
playing.
gonna have
Josh.
a barbecue.
He's playing
show.
with like all American dolls and stuff.
We're gonna have a
um,
barbecue show.
Yeah, okay. B and
like
Josh already
Matt's
gave his
down.
winner. Matt, do you have a winner?
I didn't have a winner.
Okay, just losers all the way. Just
one
people who
part.
piss you off and fucking movie
People that
theaters. All right.
talk during movies.
How about all the
Talk
people
during-
that cheered you on and shook your hand for standing up, being
did
an
that
alpha
happen?
male? in
That
the
was
movie
good.
theater?
That was nice. I like that.
You know what, Matt?
Yeah, when
You're
I
your
told them to
own
shut
winner.
the fuck up, they were
Okay?
like,
There you are. Matt's the winner of Matt's
I'm the
winner.
winner.
You stood up against. You went against social norms, and you stood up and said, "Shut the fuck up."
Yes.
Surprised it didn't
And
turn
it
into
didn't
a-
really work all that well.
didn't
I
turn
mean,
into
but that doesn't matter, Matt.
Didn't
The
work.
fact that you said it.
Hey man, shut the fuck up! Please don't hit me.
Did you get all big like a bear? Like
And then I saw him and I'm like, just shut the fuck up.
turn around first.
Yeah,
got
I was
this.
like, shut. Oh shit.
No.
Never mind.
Hey, keep.
I should watch the movie.
Just go ahead and keep talking. I don't care.
Hey, you know what? That's my bad. I apologize.
Yeah, I shouldn't have talked to you during the movie. My winner is Pete Hegseth. Just because, one, I like him. He's doing things to the military that need to be done. He's making the military tough again. It's
He's
all about
probably under the most
fighting,
heat,
not
too.
about. It's not about inclusion. It's about winning and making the best soldiers. I saw he led a national prayer. I thought that was pretty cool, even though people were like, "Oh, that's against church and state." That's not technically a thing.
That's something made up by the left.
Yeah, it's not technically a thing. It's been recognized a few times. But I mean, it's not. It was in like the what was it? The Jefferson documents, or was it? I don't know. But it's not actually part of the Constitution. So, but I think Pete Hegseth. I saw a thing on, the media coverage of everybody. I think it was like negative coverage for Donald Trump was like 92%. I think Kash Patel was like 86%. And Pete Hegseth, media coverage through the mainstream media was 100% negative. Like they've never said anything good about him.
Yeah, out of all of cabinet positions, he's gotten more shit than anybody.
Yeah. So the fact that he keeps going and is like, fuck you guys. I'm badass. We're going to make our military badass. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
He's my winner.
All right. Well, let's run into your Trump truth, Kevin.
Yeah, hold on. It's going to be a long one.
What I say is what I say.
My phone here. I know. I got to find it on my phone because I wasn't ready yet. I am not professional. So hold on, everybody. It's going to be a Trump truth here in a minute. Oh, where the hell was that? It was a long one, too. Joe Biden was not for open borders. He never talked about open borders where criminals of all kinds, shapes, and sizes can flow into our country at will. It wasn't his idea to open the border and almost destroy our country and cost us hundreds of billions of dollars to get criminals out of our country and go through the process we are going through right now. It was the people that knew he was cognitively impaired, and that took over the auto pen. They stole the presidency of the United States, and they put us in great danger. This is treason at the highest level. They did it to destroy our country. The Joe Biden that everybody knew would never allow drug dealers, gang members, and the mentally insane to come into our country totally unchecked and unvetted. All anyone has to do to look up his record. Sorry, he misprinted that.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Something very severe should happen to these treasonous thugs that want to destroy our country, but couldn't. Because I came along. Make America great again.
What I say is what I say.
Dude, that was like 2 pages of shit I had to read. But I mean, it makes sense. I mean, give Trump credit. He didn't blame it on Biden.
No.
I mean, he has a lot of times, but I think once more information came out, he's like, it wasn't Biden's fault. That dude was, not there. Somebody else.
Well, yeah.
He would. I don't know what Biden's record was on immigration before.
No, he was not for open borders.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he was not an open border politician.
So, I mean,
he's always been
Trump
weak and wrong on the national, international stage, but he was not for open borders.
Yeah, I mean, give it to Trump then, for saying, hey, this dude is, it's not his fault. Blame everybody else.
Do you have a Doge weekly update?
Other than Elon Musk.
Well, if you have one, I got to play it.
Yeah,
play the stinger because I love the stinger.
Play it.
All right.
Stinger.
Of course there's some wasteful spending, but you don't use a meat axe and cut everything.
Basically, Elon Musk said he won't give money to any political party or anybody because he's so disappointed in how Washington works, and that they won't codify Doge into law or
like an actual department or
an actual department. And he's just like, hey, I can do my best, but this is all fucked, and you guys won't do anything about it. So.
I wish I would have pulled the clip where he was talking shit about Bill Gates too, about him saying what did Bill Gates say something?
Well, he said he was like an Epstein guy and he wouldn't allow his kids to be babysat by him.
Yeah,
because, yeah. I mean, It is true though, because again, we'll talk about it again.
I'm pretty sure the whole Epstein stuff like ruined Gates's marriage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, if he's looking for a babysitter, I think Diddy's
Look, Gates is creepy as fuck, and if there's gonna be like, he's the guy who's gonna be like, there's some rich asshole that wanted to do this and is gonna end up killing everybody on the planet.
Yeah, he's still trying to do that. I think he's trying to kill everybody, but who?
Well, he's the guy passing out vaccines in Africa that were sterilizing people, and he knew that was a side effect.
I think he's just trying to save little girls and rich people.
Yeah, he kind of has that, not necessarily the girls vibe, but you know, he kind of has a Jared.
Well, some kind
not
of
our buddy,
some
Jared.
kind of
Subway Jared.
Yeah, up to. He's trying to save people up to
that.
He's got that teriyaki look to him.
Dude, yeah. No, he absolutely does have the Jared from Subway vibe.
So, yeah.
All right, well, Happenings of the Week.
Happenings
was brought
of the
to you
week.
by our new sponsor.
Brought to you by Elevate Your Cook with Yummy Tummy Barbecue Sauces. Founded in Amarillo, Texas by Quad City Iowans, we craft every bottle with whole ingredients like ripe peaches and zesty jalapenos. Our pride, simple, easy-to-read ingredients delivering bold, smoky, and tangy flavor. Visit YummyTummyBBQ.com and pick the sauce and or sauces that's best for you and taste the honest Yummy Tummy difference. Use promo code LOSTCOMMON for 10% off your first order.
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening? What is happening?
Outside!
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Yeah.
So, we'll start with that. 2 Israelis were killed.
They were like Israeli diplomats, weren't they?
Yeah, diplomats were killed. In Washington, D.C., at the, I think the Jewish Museum, something like that. And, obviously you all heard what he was yelling as he got arrested. What are your guys' thoughts on it? I mean, not only did he kill but he he shot one.
He didn't. He
that dude died.
Him.
Then the girl was walking away, shot, but she was trying to crawl away. He walked behind her. He reloaded his gun and made sure and assassinated her. I mean, there was there was no remorse. This was a brutal killing that happened.
Was that the killer?
Yeah, that was the killer. He got a bottle of water before that.
Yeah, some lady thought he was like a traumatized bystander, and was like, "Oh, are you okay? Do you need a bottle of water?" So she went and got him a bottle of water. And then shortly after, he got like tackled by the cops. And then she went on national television and told people that she did it. And I should have pulled that clip, but I didn't.
Do you think this was brainwashing?
I think this is the result of constantly charging up an already mentally unstable base.
Agreed.
Like everything the Democrats go out and say, like Jasmine Crockett saying, oh, you got all the white supremacists that align with the right, and they're going out and murdering people and blah blah. And I don't know, there might be cases of it going on somewhere, but
if there was, it would be on the news.
It'd be everywhere. But people on the right aren't burning down cities. They're not like
taking over colleges,
sidestepping democracy. They're not shooting people out. They're not assassinating people. Everything like.
How many times have you seen the KKK take over a college?
Never. They did take over a town once.
I mean, probably in 1960?
It was back in the 60s or 70s or something. They did take over a town, and then the president sent in the National Guard and basically just like shot them all.
Yeah.
Which,
good.
Chaz is lucky they didn't repeat history on that one.
Yeah.
Chop or Chaz or whatever that was. was.
There was 2 different ones. But, I mean...
No, it was the same place. He kept changing the name.
When you have mentally weak people who are just going to... I mean, this happens all the time. This is why the president has 2 assassination attempts on his life. When you constantly have the news running saying, yeah, you know, all these Palestinians are good people and, you know, don't blame anything on Hamas, even though Hamas, you know, hides their fucking headquarters or their weapon bases underneath hospitals, underneath schools. You know, Hamas is, if Hamas would give up and turn over the hostages, this war would end. I mean, that's it. Israel doesn't want to kill more people.
Here's the thing that pisses me off. Everyone's pointing, you know, whatever. You can think whatever you want. But everyone's pointing Israel as a bad guy, as a committing genocide, all that shit. Why aren't any of the surrounding Arab countries accepting Palestinians into their country?
Yes.
It's like everyone's like, oh, free Palestine. This genocide's happening. Like, it's Gaza Strip. If they wanted to commit genocide, it wouldn't be that hard.
Dude, they have nuclear weapons.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, if Israel wanted to...
Apparently, well, they know that the Palestinian people in Gaza Strip are infiltrated with terrorists. That's why they don't want them in their countries.
You don't drop flyers. You don't let people know that, hey, we're coming to your community. Get out if you're a civilian. If, you know, you're trying to commit genocide. What you do is you just go in there and you murder everyone. It's not genocide if you're trying to protect people. I'm sorry, it's not. It's a casualty of war, and usually
only
it's
if you're
casualty
going
of war.
off of definitions of words, Kevin.
I know. Obviously, it's only a genocide if you try to eliminate a whole culture of people. Israel, you know, what are they trying to do? Palestine is not a culture. They're Arabs. So if Israel is trying to do a genocide, they would be like having war with everyone around them, not just the people attack them. No matter what, they would try to get rid of all the Arabs.
I mean, from my understanding, Palestinians are basically a countryless nation that were settled in the Gaza Strip. Like I guess it's been the Palestinians and the Israelis fighting over basically the Israel territory since forever. But
no, Palestine was technically a country later than Israel.
Earlier, you mean?
Nope.
So after.
Israel was first.
Well, I think that were they the people hanging out in that area when?
Yes, hanging out. Yes.
Yeah, they're just hanging there.
No, literally sitting by the Coke machine. It was talking shit.
Israel was formed after World War II.
No, Israel was a country way before that.
No, it wasn't. Look it up.
Yes.
Well, or recognized.
What do you think Jerusalem
Look it up,
is?
Matt.
It was a Jewish state. Jerusalem was always Jewish.
I'm talking about a state, a nation.
Yeah, Israel was a state way like.
How much you want to bet I'm right?
I'm telling you, I'm right.
The term Israel predates Palestine by over a millennium. The name Israel, referring to a people inhabiting Canaan, appears in the Egyptian. I'm not going to pronounce.
But when
that word.
was Israel recognized as a sovereign nation?
A millennium before Palestine.
Yeah.
How was that? You can just look that up.
The term Israel predates Palestine by over a millennium.
Oh my God, that's not what I'm asking.
I know.
But if you're talking about like, hold on, because we recognized, the U.S. recognized, but Israel was like we recognized, we gave it back to them, is what happened. Like we did, the world did, because the Holocaust.
Yeah.
We gave back their home land back to them.
Israel
The
and
Jewish
Palestine,
people.
one land, two names. Both Jews and Arabs have claimed it as theirs alone from a purely...
I don't know if you ever seen the Kingdom of Heaven or Kingdom of Heaven, the movie, but basically it's been fought forever.
Well, the United States recognized the Jewish government in May
it was
14th, 1948.
Yeah.
But since we run the world, Kevin, that's when it happened.
No, we've run the world since
I
1940.
thought the girls run the world.
Well, that too.
I'm just saying. By definition,
I don't know. I'm
Israel-
just saying it just annoys out of this whole crap. It's all hyperbolic rhetoric coming from the left that charges up these mentally ill, emotionally unstable people, and then the Democrats.
When's the last
come
time
out,
you've seen a Jew kill an Arab guy because of Israel?
I mean, there's a war going on, so like yesterday.
No, I meant in this country. In this country.
I don't know.
Oh.
Never.
A movie?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a movie. But
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it pisses me off because Democrats will come out and say, you know, we condemn all violence, and there's always a but. And then somehow these leaders keep getting away with, like, you know, they try to throw Trump in prison because of January 6th. Yeah, people are actually dying that, you know, aren't people that were part of the stupid mob that went into the Capitol.
Well, me and we're talking about Israel. They plan to strike Iran's nuclear facilities. I mean, I've read it everywhere. They do plan on doing it. But I feel like that's a weird way to do it because everybody knows it.
As long as they know where they're at.
Do you think they're going to do it, or?
I would.
I would too. Like
not even if I was a Jew. It's like if I had a. It's like. Think about it. Think about if you had a crazy neighbor who was constantly threatening to murder you every day, and then you see him come home with a gun.
Not even that. Iran literally said, "Hey, if we negotiate peace with America and do these peace talk or whatever nuclear talks, we're still going to enrich like uranium."
No, they
said they're not going to stop. So
they flat out said that they're going to nuke Israel several times. So I would not allow them to have a nuclear weapon.
I agreed. I would
it doesn't
nuke all
matter
their
if you're
nuclear facilities.
It doesn't matter if you're a Zionist
destroy all their nuclear
or
facilities.
not. If you're a nation and you have another nation who's developing nuclear weapons and says, "I'm going to nuke you,"
be like
you
that
have
movie
a duty
Kandahar.
to the preservation of your own people. Make sure that doesn't happen.
Did you guys see that movie Kandahar?
Nation of Domination. Which movie?
Kandahar.
I don't know.
Yeah.
With Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
As Iran.
Yes.
He had to run for his life. It was a good movie.
I've seen all of Gerard Butler's movies.
Doubtful.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
I've seen the rom-coms.
Doubtful.
Doubtful.
I've seen the rom-coms.
Should we go down the list?
I had Republican Congress on this happens of the week, but I think we all know they're garbage.
What?
They are garbage, but they did pass the big beautiful bill,
which we're going to get to. I think. Maybe.
You wanted to talk about this, so we can do that.
Oh yeah, the no tax on tips. So everybody's like, "Hey, there's no it only counts on cash tips. No, it counts on debit and credit card as well." Which I don't know if I'm for this.
Why?
Because listen, I know what I make, and I get taxed on all my wage. And
it depends, because here's the thing.
There's a lot of people that make a lot of money on
But here's
tips.
the thing. It depends on... I don't care if they get... Because along with no tax on tips, there's no tax on overtime. Still doesn't affect me or Kevin. And Matt, because I don't think you work a lot of overtime. Maybe sometimes.
I work
every week. Tips were supposed to make up for the fact that people were making like $2 an hour.
Yes.
Now... every asshole that works behind a register is asking for a tip.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's why I flat out will not go to Firehouse.
Listen, my bartender will get a tip. If I go to a restaurant, they'll get a tip. But you know what I'm not going to do? Go through a drive-through of Wendy's and give them a fucking tip.
I don't go to Firehouse Subs anymore.
I would.
I fucking...
Because Firehouse Subs are delicious?
No, not you. Not
What's
you.
wrong with you?
Him. Why would you tip someone at Wendy's?
Because like fast food restaurants are like handing out fucking like
Kevin,
iPads
don't
being
act
like, hey.
like we didn't go to Hardee's one time drunk as shit and got in a contest on who could tip the dumbass kid behind the register. Hey, I'm gonna give you a tip.
But
It's
that's
for not throwing us out when we tried to walk through the
give him a
drive-thru.
sober
Yeah.
tip.
Well, yeah, we had a tip because we walked through the drive-through.
We had to knock on the window because we were throwing our keys down. And from like, do they know we're here? Is there a metal detector?
Of course they do. They had cameras, I think.
We gave a knock. Hey, we're coming around inside.
But no, I mean, I do like it. I like the no tax on overtime. I feel like they should have done more for no tax on Social Security.
You know what's going to
They lowered it. They lowered tax on Social Security. They didn't take no tax on Social Security, which is bullshit. There should be no tax.
You're shutting down Social Security.
Yeah, you're literally like paying that. It's like pre-tax, so you can be taxed later.
Yes.
It's fucking horse shit.
One,
you know, do you get? I don't think you get taxed on your like retirement as long as you wait till you're 65.
All right. Well, let's go into this big beautiful bill.
Okay.
All right. And I agree with, I don't agree with they didn't take away a lot of the green shit that Biden put into place. I agree with a lot what they did. They're defunding Planned Parenthood. They're taking a lot of waste out, but let's be real about things. Most of the waste and the most reason we're in debt is because of Medicaid and Social Security.
Yes.
And no one will touch it. And there has to be reform on that. So whatever anybody grandstands on and not wanting to vote for a bill or voting for a bill, blah, 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 because of money is bullshit, because there's two things that fucking take all the money, and it's Medicaid and Social Security. There needs to be reform in those two things, and no one will do it because it's a death nail into, their reelection.
Well, that's what's stupid, and that's why these Democrats and Republicans should be all about Doge going through Medicaid and Medicare to get rid of the fraud. Because
Also,
chances are, once they get rid of all the fraud, there's going to be more benefits for people who actually deserve it.
Yes. I mean, there's some reform to Medicaid because, if you're an able-bodied person that can work, you don't receive it unless you work 80 hours a month. And you don't have to work it. You can be volunteer, but you have to, like, if you're able-bodied, like not retirement age and, some disability, you're just collecting for some fucking reason. You have to work 80 hours a week or 80 hours a month or 80 hours, community service, whatever. I mean, that's kind of better. It's not great.
Well, we've definitely become way too much of a dependent style civilization where people are way too dependent on the federal government.
Yeah.
Now, granted, not everyone's going to be a millionaire, but like most of the people that are like taking advantage of these social programs are not paying nearly enough in to cover it. That's why Social Security is going bankrupt, because they've made Social Security payouts for way more than what it was originally meant to be.
Yeah. So, yeah. Matt,
I think Iowa's just about to pass a bill that kind of limits goods for food stamps, stuff like that. I don't know how that has anything to do with what we just talked about, but
well, it should though, because of the health crisis and kids with fucking diabetes that we have.
So that was
back in my youth. You could only
40%
buy
of kids
and
40% of
items.
kids have chronic disease, which is a ridiculous amount. 40% of children have chronic disease. That's obesity, that's ADHD, if it's whatever. But 40%. I mean, that's ridiculous. We're supposed to be the world's leader on pretty much everything, and yet we have the fattest, most sick kids in the world.
And the most fattest sick Kevins in the world.
Well, hold on. I'm not sick. I'm just fat. You must be talking about the other ones.
I stay warmer in winter than most. I will agree.
Yes. I'm like a bear.
I just know that you shouldn't be able to buy. You shouldn't be able to buy any type of junk food on food stamps.
Agreed.
I think if you're in any type of social program, whether it be food stamps, housing, welfare, whatever, your life should be heavily controlled. You're going to be healthy.
The problem is
nutritious.
There's a line that has to be made. What's junk food, what's not.
Simple. You can buy vegetables, uncooked meat, the way it used to be.
Yeah. Agreed. Get
I
some
mean-
government cheese, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. People say, you can say it's unfair, whatever. If you're allowing the government to take care of you, what you are doing is giving the government authorization to tell you how you are going to live.
The greatest thing I've ever heard, some of my favorite TikToks are people like just making fun of these people, of these SNAP benefit people bitching about it, because the most obese people, I can't believe Trump's taking away my SNAP benefits. They're 400-pound dudes or women. It's just Jesus. Maybe you should try some SNAP peas.
Oh, it's
yeah, limit on monthly income.
I'm not sure when it happened, but you can generally tell when someone's got a SNAP card versus because I always get a little nervous when the whole bottom of my shopping cart's full of food. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, I know.
Then you see these people rolling up to the register with a huge cart full of food.
Yeah, and they
then
just swipe their
99%
swipe.
of the times, they're breaking out a SNAP card or a Lone Star card or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I'm so happy that you eat better than I do.
What do you guys think about the new COVID? Oh, hold on, let's do this one. What do you think about the Golden Dome?
I think it's needed and it's awesome.
And
It's
the
like
fact that
a
Canada wants in on it.
Yeah, I would not put them in on it.
I don't know. I would.
It's like, hey, you want to be
You
part
pay
of
for
the
some of
Golden
this,
Dome?
zero tariff.
I think
on
you need to
everything.
do some changing the flags.
Yeah.
You think it's going to be laser based?
I think it's going to be satellite and ground lasers and satellite based.
We have technology now, like what Reagan was wanting back in the day that we didn't
Star
have back
Wars.
then. Star Wars was supposed to be a laser based ballistic defense, system, but we didn't have the technology.
You're
We do now.
what? Why do we need this? We've never been attacked. It's because, maybe we might be attacked.
We do
You know?
need
Was
it.
this
because
like that
now
Michael
We
Crichton
absolutely need it.
No, we have to have it now. We the oceans, because of hypersonic ballistic missiles and stuff like that. The oceans aren't. Yeah, are we going to be invaded? I mean,
Probably
if
not.
a country was super dumb, maybe. But
Canada.
But a country could send a missile over to San Francisco or, New
Canada's
York, and what if we didn't have that?
well, yeah. Now they're not hypersonic, but I mean, intercontinental nuclear weapons can hit anywhere in the United States.
Yeah.
Chances of them making it here are pretty slim. But
1 out of 100 is still bad.
I am 100% down with that because we have, and they need to do something with.
If we have the technology, why not do it?
we need to develop better anti-drone technology too.
Yeah.
Because there's I don't know.
Or anti-balloon technology.
Well, yeah,
because
that's a big one.
We
Turns
had
out
two
you just-
balloons 3 years ago.
I mean, you
over our
could use
country. just
bullets.
floating around.
Oh yeah, that's right. Remember that?
Just anti-balloon technology would be good. It's
like
a
we could
pellet
use
gun,
bullets
maybe
to
maybe
shoot
a pellet
the balloon
gun
down.
A pellet gun on a plane. I don't
Instead,
know.
we used a $75,000 missile.
or one bullet would have done it.
Yeah, but apparently we have a huge amount of incursions across the southern border by the cartels from drones.
Yes, we do.
That's a big problem.
I was listening to Ben Shapiro. He's he was there during the Biden administration down on the southern border, and he said there was drones that's flying around. He's like, so he was with an ICE agent or whatever, a border agent. He's like, is that ours? He's like, no, that's the cartels. He's like, why don't you just shoot it down? He's like, oh, we have to have direct contact with the Secretary of State to shoot down the.
Yeah, I think that Trump is actually doing something to make it easier for them to do that.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like if
I
you
like
see a
how
drone
long-
coming from Mexico over into U.S. land, just shoot it with a shotgun or whatever,
Yeah.
Maybe not a shotgun, I don't know,
Kind of
but
obvious.
something, So yes, a Golden Dome should be. I don't think it would. He said 125 billion. I think it's going to be a lot more expensive. But I mean, if it protects America, then whatever. I'd rather pay for that than, gay guinea pigs and guana.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, let's see. What else here do I have? So a Senate report, Matt, showed that Biden officials were aware of related links to COVID-19 vax and myocarditis, and they said nothing to people.
That's bullshit.
Right? And this is from 2021.
Yeah.
Like, they knew in 2021.
Aaron Rodgers knew it. Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers knew it. He told everybody, don't fucking do this shit.
Literally, Aaron Rodgers knew. I mean, it's true though. I mean, I didn't, but I mean, I don't care what you did, but I mean, it's the fact that people didn't know, and there's a lot of trust in the government from people. I don't trust the government, period. But I mean, people do trust the government to, at least be honest about their health and what they should put in their bodies and vaccines. And the fact that people should be weary about it, because every news organization, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, all these news companies are all being like, every goddamn commercial is a pharma commercial. So you should be worried about pharma's, actual, care about your health rather than making a dollar. And I feel like, something that big, because it was like thousands of people that they knew in 2021 had myocarditis under the, what the fuck do you have on your wrist?
He's getting ready for later.
Jesus. Sorry, Josh. You can't see Josh. Josh, raise your wrist. Yeah. Why am I not?
I'm bowling later?
But yeah. What the fuck?
No,
yeah.
it's a wrist brace because I'm old and I picked up a branch the wrong way.
Well, don't do that.
So I got to wear this freaking thing
like
for 6 months.
Can't do that.
But the fact that pharma knew that myocarditis was a severe risk in taking the shot and didn't say anybody. Say to anybody is.
Damn it, I was going to grab another beer.
It's just crazy.
My internet going out?
No, you're fine.
You're fine. Just keep talking.
No,
you're
you
fine.
guys are glitching.
I don't care. We're good. And this will be the last thing I have for this weekly update, but
nope, I got one more thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Rubio.
But what do you think, Josh, about the fact that the Biden administration pretty much did not tell people the risks of the vaccine?
I think this opens the federal government up to lawsuits, and I think people should go to jail because it actually did cost.
Hold on, federal government still says you can't sue them for it.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's horseshit because you can't go out and here's the
You
problem
can't
with
sue somebody
that.
For
here's the thing, though, and the crux on
they
that.
can
You
change
can't,
it.
How are you going to say you can't sue somebody for something, require them to get it, and then find out that they knew that there were severe, you're going to die health risks later?
Yeah.
Agreed. But that's
it's kind of like, I don't think states should be able to pass legislation to where if you're wrongfully imprisoned, you can't sue the state for wrongfully imprisoning you.
Right? Agreed. Like, it's your fault. You should be sued.
You put me
for lost wages, fucking mental suffering, all that shit.
Yeah. Like, you don't know what happened to me. I started a gang.
I was touched the wrong way.
And just because I'm out doesn't mean. Just because I'm out of prison doesn't mean
I dropped
started
the soap
this.
one time.
I'm going to see you to the end.
Then I kept dropping.
We were called the Soap Boys.
Then I figured, hey, in for $1, in for a penny, in for $1,
It's like, oh, what kind of gang were you in? Oh, we were called the Soap Boys. We made sure everyone had soap when they were in the shower.
You know.
You got your soap?
All right,
I thought it was supposed to be a rope. No
all right,
ropes
Josh,
in
what
here.
else do you have? Let's get to it. We're not talking about the Soap Boys.
What would it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
This is good.
Was this my video?
Well, I can answer that for President.
Well, I think it's
for him. No, seriously.
I got this up quick.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that. It will be.
There's an on video.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends.
I grew up in an area in South Africa that is a farmland area, Polokwane.
Yeah.
And there is some issues up there. Obviously, my dad was a property developer as well as a part-time farmer, and yeah, some of these buddy farmers got killed. The farm is still going. My brothers run it, but it's a constant battle with farms trying to get. They're trying to burn the farms down
you're not supposed to say
to
people
chase you
were
away.
It has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the articles, please, if you would. And turn the lights down.
Yeah, there you go.
Turn the lights down.
This one's-
And just put this on. It's right behind you. Johan.
Yeah, no
Nothing
idea.
this parliament can do, with or without you. People are going to occupy land.
Wait,
We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We
This
can
is
do
a boss
whatever
move,
we want to
though.
do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land.
Like, I'm gonna blame you for something. Now I'm gonna bring receipts.
Well, and they're, obviously they're like making excuses saying there's not a genocide. This isn't the first time they've done this, and they have passed legislation to where they can take land from people and then not compensate them for it.
Yeah, but it's.
Well, it was awesome because he was like, "Oh no, there's nothing. There's no genocide. We can talk about it. We're Nelson. We could be like Nelson Mandela."
This is crazy. I mean,
Look, these are articles over the last few days.
and the
Death,
fact that the news after this is like
people.
he ambushed him with this video.
Death.
Yeah.
death,
Really?
death,
Ambushed?
horrible death.
These are
The
videos
dramatic
that are
scene
out.
in the Oval Office today.
This kind of
the
shit
tense
right
confrontation,
here
President
is
Trump
why nobody
ambushing the
trusts the
president
news.
of South Africa.
Next, another Oval Office meltdown.
This is
President
fucking
Trump
crazy how
ambushing
they're
the
all
president
the
of South
same.
Africa.
President Trump is being accused of conducting something of a diplomatic ambush of South Africa's
Ambush.
president in the
Ambush.
Oval Office.
To be with you, I'm Katie Tur. President Trump orchestrated another Oval Office ambush today.
Today, Donald Trump
Another ambush.
meeting with the president of South Africa and attempting to ambush and humiliate that leader.
To Zelensky territory, where essentially he was.
This is how you know the media is
inside the
controlled
Oval
by very
Office.
few
Felt like an
people.
ambush in there, kind of like the President Zelensky
Very
meeting in
few
the Oval Office.
This was an ambush. It was orchestrated.
Cyril Ramaphosa brought his
Because
best diplomatic
the
self to
dude's
this
a
meeting, but
dipshit,
nothing could have
and
prepared
Trump called him
him
out.
for this multimedia ambush.
What started as, to some degree, an ambush.
Well, Katie, I mean, it was an ambush.
Ambush.
Ambushed.
An ambush.
Ambushing.
Ambushed inside the Oval Office.
Listen, I could give really. What
Hold
are you
on, I
doing?
put my ears back.
Jesus Christ!
Come on, Josh. Be professional.
You're supposed to be the professional one.
Yeah.
With your fucking
Fucking break your wrist.
yeah, you and your golf glove or not golf
You
glove, but
picked up
bowling
bowling
sleeve. But listen, I can give two fucks less what's happening in South Africa or whatever it is. But the fact that people are getting so up in arms about them giving amnesty to not amnesty, but what is it, protected status or whatever they call it, to 50 South Africans. 50. That's it. 50. After we just let in 20 million illegals, the Biden administration, I think, gave protected status to 2 million 2 million people, period, is just ridiculous that
I believe the word you're looking for is asylum.
Asylum, yes. So I just find it ridiculous that just because the color of their skin matters. I mean, I wouldn't,
Because nothing bad happens to white people in the
They
world.
don't have
Kevin.
proof of it.
Yeah, they're never the, oppressed. They're always the oppressors, no matter what.
This isn't the first time this has happened. It happened once before, and people starved to death.
Yeah, I mean, I just, if they're being, if they're being killed, the weird thing was, did you see all of them come into America, they're white and they were happy to be here. They were,
they're ecstatic.
They were fucking flying American flags. They were.
Are you thinking illegals aren't happy to be here either?
Well, what are you talking about? I don't know.
They
who's
were
flying
waving
the Mexican
American
flag
flags.
and no. They want to assimilate. I mean, I'm not saying because they're white or because they're whatever color. If you want to assimilate into a country, good. Assimilate, Be productive.
But
what you don't want to do is bring people here that want to bring their country here, their culture, assimilate into our culture. Like, this isn't Sudan. This isn't, whatever country you come from. This is America. Like, assimilate to us, It should be assimilation, not.
But see what
bring,
what
not
they're
bring your
seeking
shitty
asylum for, like persecution by the government. They can say, he can say whatever he wants. He says it's from poverty, and that's why, people could commit crimes, and making excuses on the rhetoric. Oh, we have, because of our Constitution, people can say that, and it's like, yeah, cool, they're acting on it. It's the same shit that's going on over here. Yeah, you have the First Amendment. You cannot. I mean, maybe they're freer as far as the First Amendment goes in South Africa, but you can't. Well, they're letting people get away with it, but technically you're not supposed to threaten to murder people in the United States. But, like, these people are being, and they passed legislation.
Unless you 86-47.
I mean, they don't know what that means. That's his wife's fault.
No, they're just on a beach and they happen upon shells.
Do you think he made the shells, Kevin?
I don't know, man. Crustaceans are crazy.
I just don't understand how you're the ex-FBI director.
God did it.
Crustaceans be crazy. That's what I say. That's my motto.
Are you the ex-director of the FBI and you're willing to go out on TV and be that fucking ignorant?
Right? I agree. All right.
I mean, it's just me. That wraps up Happenings of the Week. What does that mean, Kevin?
Matt, movies of the week.
Oh.
We give him the title. He watches the movie. You get the opinion you never asked for. This is Matt's weekly movie review. I like movies.
This week's movie was The Accountant 2, directed by Gavin O'Connor, who did the first movie. He also directed Warrior, which is another one of my favorites, and Pride and Glory. This movie was really good and entertaining. I'm still undecided if it was better than the first one, as this one leaned more on being funny. It still had a serious plot and story and everything, and a lot of action. Had a lot of action on there, but it still leaned heavily on being funny and the brotherly aspect of it. Then the story kind of took a backseat a lot of times. But they did also make a bigger deal about people on the spectrum, which is important. And Ben Affleck did a great job again, like he did in the first one on it. They just kind of made it a bigger deal and kind of had more kids in it this time. And they had their very own Situation Room, which was kind of neat, but different. The movie does touch on a lot of topics that are going on right now, such as illegals, deportation, immigration, privacy or the lack thereof. And Ben Affleck and John Bernthal were perfect as brothers in this movie. John Bernthal continues to be, I think, one of the most undervalued and underutilized actors right now. He's done a ton of movies and stuff, but he's getting a lot more recognition now. That he perfected the role of the Punisher, which is one of my favorite Marvel shows and characters. J.K. Simmons is back and for a little bit, and he does have his badass moment. And Cynthia Adai Robinson, she's coming back too, and she's the semi-reluctant accomplice / babysitter of the two assassin brothers. And actually, she gets a badass moment for herself, which reminded me of her time on the show Spartacus, which was awesome. I like to see that. And again, like I said, the movie does have a lot more and better fight scenes than the first one. The only bad thing I would say about this movie is it doesn't always stay on track. Again, it does lean heavily on the brothers, which they had amazing chemistry, and it was kind of funny to watch them. But it did kind of get away from the story a lot. So overall, yeah, I would say this was great. Again, I had to go watch this movie with a bunch of twat waffles behind me, interrupting and taking my focus off of the movie. So I might have to go see it again to get a real judgment on it. Twat waffle. But dictum. That is what I call Angel Reese. That is someone who is a dick and then wants to play the victim card. That is Angel Reese, not these people. These people are just twat waffles. And so I may have to go get a second second watch of this to get a better idea of it. But overall, I would say it got a 7 out of 10. And that is my movie review of the week.
I like movies.
That was a good review, man. I actually want to see that movie.
I do.
I'm not a huge Ben Askren fan, but he's not bad. I thought he did a pretty good Batman, but I really liked The First Accountant. I feel like
I liked it.
I don't know if it's based on a book, but it's like one of those few movies that are original.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't feel like they were pushing the sequel, like just to make money, like.
Yeah.
This has been in the works for a while. And I was excited they were making a sequel to it.
Well, no, and I'm glad that they did, and I'm glad they put John Bernthal in it as his brother, and they were together, because those two together are fucking awesome.
Cool.
They're like Ben and Matt Damon. But they're just so, and there's a scene where John's making fun of Ben and how he is, and that's kind of hilarious.
Autistic.
Yes.
Didn't say it. It's a real word.
Yeah, he's autism and just how he is. And he just makes fun of him and picks on him.
Not one of them made-up words. It's real.
And then there's a scene
They're
where
all
they're
made
at
up.
the Southern bar, and that's pretty cool. That's a good scene too. But no, I'm glad that they did it, but they kind of leaned and made it a little bit more weird. And like I said, it looked like they had their own situation room at that school that he was at. So it was like, oh, it's the X-Men in here.
Kind of.
No.
I think Thor Ragnarok actually ruined a lot of stuff for like putting too much comedy into action movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ragnarok was great. I loved Ragnarok.
No, Ragnarok
I think you're
is my
talking
favorite Marvel movie.
Ragnarok is fantastic.
I'm saying that was the first domino.
Love and Thunder sucked though.
Love and Thunder
wasn't
was terrible.
Way
no,
too
I mean
much.
there was parts in it that
you know
I
would have
really
made that
enjoyed.
movie 10 times better? Axing the freaking goat. That whole goat thing is annoying.
Well, I mean that's
Everyone's
actually
doing it.
Norse mythology though.
Yeah.
Screaming goats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I don't
in
know if
everything.
there's screaming goats, but there's goats, and like that's technically what it is.
I mean, hell, they even had one in Kung Fu Panda 4, which happened to be the movie I was watching when I was getting the crap kicked out of me. Not crap. I just had like a rock stuck in my nose. And that kid helped
Or
me
your
out with it.
anus. Kicked into the gut, you farted it out.
But no, they. But like, no, I thought Thor Ragnarok was done perfectly.
Oh
like,
yeah,
that was like, I think that's actually my favorite Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Love and Thunder was that is the one where Waikiki, whatever his name is,
Taika
Waititi, yeah.
I just know him as the voice of the rock guy.
I also like it. What We Do.
He's
in the
great. I love him, but he just.
I don't know if you ever seen What We Do in the Shadows, but it's a fantastic show.
No, he's a great director. He's a great actor, but that movie he just got.
It just got too ridiculous.
I think Disney probably said make it funny, and
Yeah,
he was like,
it got too
I'll
ridiculous.
just overdo it. Yeah.
Well, no, his
floating
directing of Ragnarok is like what injected the perfect amount of comedy. Now, whether or not they asked him to up it, I don't know. But
they probably did.
But Love and Thunder was too over the top.
But
I wasn't
Disney and movies are just
they ruin everything.
Wanted to mention before we left.
Daredevil. Fucking Daredevil was awesome.
I could not find that video either. So
what?
The Memorial Day video.
Oh. Well, I would say it is Memorial Day weekend, so we want to make sure that we honor everybody who sacrificed their lives to make this country great and what it is today. And we want to thank anybody who, maybe lost a loved one. Your sacrifice is not unnoticed on the show. Thank you so much. Thank you to the people who have served and who are serving. You guys have done everything that, makes this country what it is. So happy Memorial Day, everybody. Remember what it's for. Remember why we're here, how we're here, what we are, in the freedoms you have for the people that sacrificed to make it what it is.
Well said.
Yeah,
So-
think about that before you start spouting off a bunch of stupid shit.
It's always stupid shit after.
People take advantage of the ultimate sacrifice others made. And
Yeah.
not realizing that the cost that went into allowing them to go around and say just insanely dumb shit.
Agreed. I mean, the fact that you can say insanely dumb shit is because of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
That's
Thank
all
you,
I
Mike.
had. Do you guys have anything else?
I don't. Do you have anything, Matt?
I don't either.
Okay, well, I'm Kevin.
And I'm
I'm
Josh.
Matt. And I'm Matt.
And this was the lost art of common sense.
Common sense.
Common sense.
Common sense.
Keep that vinyl spinning.
Don't be boring. Be a pirate.
And keep on keeping on.
Jesus Christ.